अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, मेरा नाम इजाज़ अहमद है और हम एजुकेशन एआई पैरिक्सेस चैनल से बात कर रहे हैं। इस चैनल पर हम साइंस ऑफ लर्निंग और टीचिंग को एविडेंस पर बेस करके प्रैक्टिकल स्ट्रेटजीज डिस्कस करते हैं जो कि आप अपनी क्लासरूम में बराह रास्त इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। आज की वीडियो में हम उन 5 अहम बुनियादी बातों का जिक्र करेंगे जो कि टीचिंग के कोर प्रिंसिपल्स कहलाती हैं। In this video, I am going to talk about the 5 core principles of effective teaching, the principles that are grounded in decades of research on how students actually learn, and that the most effective teachers around the world consistently apply. These are not abstract theories. Each principle comes with clear explanation of what it means, why it matters, and most importantly, what it looks like in practical situations in your classroom. By the end of this video, you will have a clear framework, something you can return to again and again whenever you are planning a lesson, reflecting on your teaching, or trying to understand why some lessons work better than the others. इस सिलसिले में पहला असूल क्लियर लर्निंग इंटेंशंस है। इफेक्टिव टीचर्स ऑलवेज बिगिन देयर टीचिंग विद एब्सोल्यूट क्लैरिटी अबाउट व्हाट स्टूडेंट्स आर supposed to learn, not what they are supposed to do, what they are supposed to know, understand, and be able to do by the end of this lesson. Clear learning intentions is the first core principles. Research by John Hattie, one of the largest ever studies of which actually works in education, consistently show that when students understand the learning goal, their achievement improves significantly. Why? Because the brain is a goal-directed organ. When it knows what it is aiming for, it filters, organizes, and retains information far more effectively. In your classroom, this means before you teach anything, share the learning intentions clearly. Not just today we are going to do fractions, but you should say by the end of today you will be able to explain why dividing by a fraction is same as multiplying by its reciprocal. The learning intentions should be measurable and student centered. तदरीस का दूसरा अहम असूल एक्टिवेटिंग प्रायर नॉलेज है. No student comes to your classroom as an empty vessel. Every learner already has a network of knowledge, experience, and beliefs stored in his long-term memory. And the new learning only sticks when it connects to something already there. This is rooted in schema theory, the idea that our brains organize information into interconnected frameworks. When you activate what students already know before introducing something new, you are literally preparing them to receive and anchor that new information. Practically speaking, this means starting every lesson with a brief activation activity, a question or a recall task, think, pair, share, KWL charts. These connects today's learning to something students already know. It takes only 3 to 5 minutes, but the return on the investment is enormous. असातिज़ा अगर तलबा की गुज़िश्ता मालूमात और फ़हम के साथ मौजूदा सबक को लिंक करेंगे तो उसके बहुत बड़ा फ़ायदा होने वाला है. शुरू में 1-2 मिनट से तलबा के गुज़िश्ता मालूमात को एक्टिवेट करने से उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत बढ़ जाती है. इसलिए इस प्रिंसिपल को ज़रूर अमल में लाएं. तदरीस का तीसरा अहम हिस्सा वाज़े तौर पर तदरीसी इक़दामात हैं. एक्सप्लिसिट इंस्ट्रक्शन, वाज़े तदरीस. This is perhaps most misunderstood principle in teaching. Explicit instruction does not mean lecturing at students for the whole period. It means making your thinking visible, showing students not just what you do, but how you think through a problem or a concept. The research on explicit instruction, particularly Rosenshine's principles, is clear. Students learn complex skills and concepts most effectively when teachers model the thinking process step by step. यानी असातिज़ा जब किसी तसव्वुर को स्टेप बाय स्टेप ज़ाहिर करते हैं, दिखाते हैं, तो तलबा बेहतरीन तौर पर सीख सकते हैं. दे प्रोवाइड guided practice before releasing students to work independently. Explicit instruction is like I do, we do, and you do model. I demonstrate and think aloud, we practice together, then you try it on your own. Simple in concept, very transformative in practice. Number 4 principle is formative assessment and feedback. Effective teaching is not a one-way broadcast. It is continuous conversation between teacher and the students. And formative assessment is how you keep that conversation going throughout the lesson. Formative assessment simply means checking for understanding as you go, not waiting for the end of the unit test to find out that half of the class was lost in week. It can be as simple as an explicit ticket. It can be as simple as an exit ticket, the thumbs up, thumbs down, a mini whiteboard response, or a well-crafted question directed at the class. And when you find a gap, which you will, feedback closes it. Not feedback that just says good try, but feedback that is specific, actionable, and focused on the learning goal. Dylan William, one of the world's leading expert on assessment, calls this the bridge between where students are and where they need to be is exactly what feedback does. And now the last but perhaps the most powerful of all principles is high expectation for every learner. Not just the bright students, not just the motivated ones. Every single student in your class is important. The research on teacher expectations, going all the way back to Rosenthal and Jacobson's famous bigamation study, tells us that something profound. Students tend to rise or fall to the level of our expectation. When teachers believe a student can succeed and communicate that belief consistently throughout their language and their question, their wait time and their support, students internalize that the belief and perform accordingly. जब तलबा से बेहतरीन तवक्कुआत रखी जाती हैं किसी फ़र्द के तौर पर भी और तालिब इल्म के तौर पर भी, तो वो उन तवक्कुआत पे पूरा उतरने की भरपूर कोशिश करते हैं. यानी high expectations for every learner is one of the most important principles of teaching. High expectations are not about pressure, they are about belief. The belief that every child, regardless of the background, language, or prior attainment, is capable of meaningful learning. That belief expressed daily through your teaching is one of the most powerful forces in education. So let us bring these 5 principles together. Effective teaching begins with clear learning intentions so students know where they are going. It builds on prior knowledge so new learning has somewhere to land. It uses explicit instruction to make thinking visible. It relies on formative assessment and feedback to close the gap in real time. It is powered throughout by high expectations for every single learner. Now here is your action step for this week. Pick up one of these 5 principles, just one, and focus on on it deliberately in your next 3 lessons. Observe what changes. I would love to know which principle you choose and what you noticed. Leave in the comments below. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to the channel. I post every week with evidence-informed strategies and frameworks designed specifically for you. These frameworks are specifically designed for educators. And if you want to go deeper on any of these 5 principles, the next video in this series explore how brain actually learns and what that changes everything about how we teach. I will see you there.